Hi, I'm Chloe Skipp from the Culinary Wonderland team, and I'm going to show you today one of my favourite go-to recipes for entertaining, the Persian Love Cake. Today I'm going to be using whole blended oranges with a touch of semolina and coconut to make a delicious moist cake with a gorgeous cream cheese frosting over the top. It has warm spice through it, a little bit of citrus, and delicious coconut to finish. It is one you are going to cook for all of your friends over and over again. Okay, so what we need to do to get underway is to make a syrup that we're going to pour over the cake after we finish. So I'm going to add my sugar into the pot, then I'm going to add orange zest, just to give a bit of that flavour through our syrup. Just one orange is fine. And then we're going to top it with some water. Now I'm going to bring this to the boil, stirring it just to ensure that it doesn't catch on the bottom of the pot. And what we want to do is just cook that sugar down so it breaks down and turns into a beautiful orange syrup to pour over our cake when we take it out of the oven. So I have 3 whole oranges here, and what I'm going to do is that I'm going to pop them into a pot of boiling water, and I'm going to cook them down for around about 1 hour. What I want to do in that process as well is I'm going to change the water out at about halfway. So just change it with some fresh water and reboil it again for the last half an hour. What it's doing there is it's just taking a bit of that bitterness out of the skin, because we're going to blend the whole orange and use all the bits, but changing the water takes a bit of that bitterness away. They say that the story of the Persian love cake was from a maiden that was in love with a prince, and this recipe is a little bit of a labour of love, they say. So you can grind down the spices, you boil the oranges, but also she thought it was an enchanting dish to be able to woo a prince. I'm not sure if she got him in the end, but I can tell you that everyone I cooked this cake for, it's a winner, so it's definitely a love cake. And I can see that the sugar's already broken down. Okay, now we're going to remove this from the heat. I'm going to set that aside to cool slightly. So our oranges are nice and soft. So I'm just going to drain off the water. So as you can see there, they're nice and tender. I'm just going to set them aside to cool for maybe 10 minutes so I can handle them a little bit easier, because right now they're piping hot. Okay, so those are much easier to handle now. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to check there's not too many seeds inside. I like to remove the seeds. Just takes a little bit of that bitterness away. Beautiful. So now we're going to pop them into a food processor and blend them. Beautiful. Look at that gorgeous colour. So nice. Pour it into our bowl. Okay, now we are going to make our cake. So I have some eggs here. Then I'm going to add in my sugar and my vanilla. Now I'm going to whip them until they are at ribbon stage. When I say that, I will show you. So when you lift the head of the beater, it should slowly ribbon off the tip. That's the perfect result I want from when I'm whipping my eggs. So in the process, I'm now going to add in my dry into a large bowl. So that is my almond meal, my semolina, and then we're going to add some beautiful warming spices, because it is a Persian cake. So we want a nice little bit of that warmth spice in there. I've got cinnamon, nutmeg, and cardamom. And then some baking powder. I'm gonna give that a little mix. Beautiful. Okay. See how it moves kind of from side to side? Not a straight ribbon, but it kind of twirls. Now let's put it all together. I'm actually going to add a little bit of this egg mixture in with the orange first to loosen it up. I'm just going to start folding that through. We don't want to knock out all that air we've just added in. Now I'm going to place it into my bowl. and fold that in. When you think that all of that is incorporated, you can see that beautiful soft orange color, we're going to add the dry and fold that through. Okay, that is looking good. It's all nice and incorporated. I'm gonna pop it into our cake tin. So just halve your batter. Now into our second prepared cake tin. So grease and line 2 20-centimetre cake tins and split the batter between them. So I'm going to pop these into the oven now and cook them for around an hour or until a skewer comes out clean. Okay, now we're going to make the icing while the cake cooks. So I'm going to pop my softened cream cheese into a mixing bowl. I'm going to add in some icing sugar, a little bit at a time so we don't spray it everywhere. Make sure you sift your icing sugar. You could put some vanilla bean paste through your icing, some orange zest, lemon zest. But what I love and what suits this cake is some rose water. If you're not a Turkish delight fan or rose fan, feel free to leave that out. It is as simple as that. So after you remove your cakes from the oven, you want to let them cool for 5 minutes before pouring over that beautiful syrup we have made. Now it's time to put the cake together. So just release the springform pan. Now we have everything we need to decorate. We have that beautiful icing that we made previously. I've got some chopped pistachios and some rose petals, and figs are in season where I am, so they look gorgeous on top and work really beautifully with the orange. So we're gonna work from the center out. Nice layer. Some pistachios, some pretty rose petals. Look at that. Stunning. Okay, and that is it. This is my Persian Love Cake with pistachio and rose, and it is a crowd pleaser. It's zesty, it's got the beautiful creamy sourness from your icing, and then a hint of that floral note from the rose syrup that we added in. So I hope you'd enjoyed this recipe. Make sure you explore our platform for more inspiration like this.